gamers. Today we are here to talk about Stormgate. So, as some of you may know, this is fresh out of Yahoo News. Already some people made videos about it. And I mean, listen, I do my content live on stream. It is what it is. But basically, the moment it was like allowed to be talked about, there was like 20 videos on YouTube uploaded about this from like AoE content creators, StarCraft content creators. But you know me, I'm not that professional. So I'll do it live and I'll give you guys my impressions. I'm going to talk about closed alpha, I'll talk about beta, I'll talk about art, music in Stormgate, readability of the units, unit movements, uniqueness of races, and some other stuff. So let's get started with the basics. So I was invited to Stormgate Summit that happened recently. As if you follow other RTS streamers or content creators, you might have seen they already talked about it. They already said they attended it. So we got shown quite a lot of stuff. Now obviously I can't tell you exactly what those things are. So I'm gonna try to not make this like an announcement of an announcement thing. I'll try to make it a more of a kind of discussion point and me discussing about a lot of different things and trying to not reveal anything I shouldn't. So I'm not trying to tease you or bait you. I'm just, I can't share too much, but the stuff I can share, I will. So yeah, I was invited to that summit and we were shown gameplay of Stormgate. Now this is pre-alpha gameplay, so this was not like, this is the game and it's getting released in this state. This was pre-alpha situation, and they talked a lot about certain mechanics, units, kind of goals. They talked about esports, all the usual topics that you would be interested, whether it's like co-op, 3v3s, 1-on-1s, and so on and so forth. So I got some screenshots that we were all given. So again, I'm not going to reveal anything spectacular that's not out yet, but I will give basically my opinions on from the pictures what the units might be, because there's some things that I don't know still. So I'll try to speculate with you guys and then just kind of give you guys, like I said, my first impression. So I was also invited to closed alpha, which will be happening in July. So I will be playing Stormgate in 2 months, which is pretty cool. I'm actually super excited because the feeling of new RTS that you think is good or might be good is very cool. So there's going to be a closed alpha. I will not be able to stream it. We will not be able to share details of it. So I won't be able to record videos and upload gameplay. And I don't know what their plans are for the future regarding when we will be able to stream or record videos. Now I will if I find that out and if we're allowed to share, I'll share that with you guys if I can stream or what I can stream and so on, but closed alpha will not be streamable. So closed alpha is happening in July, and then you can kind of follow the timeline when closed beta, and release is going to be based off of that. If you look at the other games, you can kind of do the math yourself, right? If you want to apply for closed beta or beta, I'm not sure which one it is, you can also just go on their website. I think it's playstormgate.com, and you can just apply there. I think you just enter your email address, and I'm not sure. I mean, it's like every beta. Like they're probably picking people based on PC performance, based on what games they've played. I don't know. But if you want a chance to get a beta key, yeah, there's the link in the chat. Go on playstormgate.com and just sign up. If you have multiple emails, sign up with multiple emails. And get a chance to play it as well soon. So let's start with music. So obviously I don't have the music, and even if I did, I couldn't show you. But the music was good. I did enjoy it. People were, while we were watching the stuff, people were like, is this the music for the game? And they were like, yeah. And people seem to genuinely enjoy it. it was very fitting, I would say, for an RTS game, and just good in general. So that's one of the first things that I have noticed. So they kind of got that under control, and they got that sorted, in my opinion. As long as they follow same or similar path in music, it should be good. Now, the art of the game, and that's something that we'll discuss later on through the screenshots. There's been a lot of complaints, like, I'll be honest. A lot of people don't like it, a lot of people like it, a lot of people don't care. I'm on the side of people who don't care / like it, because I have played all kinds of genres of games. I've even played Fortnite, I've played, League of Legends, I've played Dota 1, I played Hearthstone, I played all Blizzard games, played StarCraft, played Age of Empires 4. So for me, the more, as people like to call it, cartoonish look is not something new. It's not something weird. It's not something that puts me off. Some people do, and that's fine. I think the graphics that we saw, and this is pre-alpha, again, I want to remind you guys, the pre-alpha graphics look way better than a lot of the games that get released today. So you can take that as you will. The style you might not like, but the quality of the graphics is a lot better than a lot of the RTS games that we see today that get released fully. And again, this is pre-alpha. Now, if you don't know what pre-alpha is, what they usually look like, I would suggest you check out StarCraft 2 pre-alpha. If you look at StarCraft 2 pre-alpha, and then you look at StarCraft on its release, they don't look anything alike. There's a major improvement, and I'm sure there's going to be more improvements to the graphics, to the art, to, they're still collecting feedback on the readability of the units, if they're properly visible, and so on and so forth, because you want to make sure that the units are visible in big numbers, moving around, shooting, and so on and so forth. So like I said, I personally like art that they have, and the units that they have are easily visible and distinguishable what they are. And this is an issue in a lot of RTS games. So for example, there are some RTS games that have bad readability in game, which means that if there are 10 units around each other, you can't tell from the get-go what is what. Now, I'll give an AoE 4 as an example. We that play Age of Empires 4, I can distinguish Spearman and Archer and Men-at-Arms and Palace Guards easily because I'm playing the game. But for someone that's not playing the game, they might not be able to tell difference immediately what is what and who is who in the fight. Now, in Stormgate, from the gameplay that I've seen, you will not get confused, like, is that a... if you use StarCraft 2 terms, I actually don't know the names of the units, so even if I wanted to leak, I couldn't. I have a memory of a goldfish, but there are names in the top left. So this is Vulcan. So let's say there's like a Marine and a Marauder. In StarCraft 2, it's very easily distinguishable, even if you've never played StarCraft. That's a Marine, that's a Marauder. One is like smaller, thinner, the other one is kind of buffier. And that's what they're going with their art. There will be no confusion where it's like, oh, I'm not sure if he's got 5 of Marines and 3 of these, or are they blending in and stuff like that. That's not going to happen, in my opinion, because of just the art that they're using, and the units have, like I said, distinct look, and they're easily recognizable, which I think is very good for RTS. To be able to kind of absorb information the moment you see the screen. You don't need to select, you don't need to like look for a while. You can just insta recognize what's what and who's who, and proceed with that information, right? So next thing, a lot of the stuff that I've seen regarding mechanics. So obviously I'm not going to discuss mechanics. When I talk about mechanics, I mean from economy to units to tactics to whatever you want to call it. So the inspiration, I will say, was taken from every major RTS. Not a copy paste, but you can see where certain things came from, and you can see, oh, this thing came from StarCraft, this thing came from Warcraft, this thing came from Age of Empires, this thing came from whatever, Red Alert, Command and Conquer, I don't know what other games exist, right? It's very easily recognizable, and in my opinion, it's a mix of all those games in a lot of ways, whether it's, army or economy or whatever other stuff. And I think that's a cool thing. I think Stormgate, they're trying to create a game that's for everyone, that's like for people that play Warcraft can get into it, people that play StarCraft can get into it, people that can get into, or from AoE 4, AoE 2 they can get into it. And I think taking those small bits and pieces from other games and making them in their own ways, I think is a good way to go about it, because it gives you something that's easily recognizable and that you can easily understand. So even though you're new to the game, if you're playing StarCraft, for example, let's say there's Marines in the game, you instantly kind of get like, okay, that's a Marine. You know what I mean? So kind of expand that stuff onto all the things that the game can have. That's kind of what I mean. So I saw a lot of, like I said, other games impact into Stormgate, which I think is good, in my opinion. And I think what they try to do is take the most interesting, unique, and cool things about those other games and try to change it a little bit, adapt it into their own. Not in a bad way, in a hopefully good way. So a lot of people wondered what the speed of the game is going to be. Is the speed of the game going to be like StarCraft, like Warcraft, like Age of Empires? My genuine impression is that it will be somewhere between StarCraft 2 and Age of Empires 4. It is way faster than Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 is, I mean, it's very slow. AoE 4, I would say, is very fast in terms of multitasking around the map, but the battles themselves are definitely a lot slower than StarCraft. StarCraft is like, you don't look for half a second and you lost the game. This will be somewhere in between those two, where you don't lose the fights in 2 seconds, but they don't last, like Warcraft 3. So you will have time to micro. I would probably say, I don't know, like 1.5 to 3 times longer fights than in StarCraft, based on what we've seen. But obviously this might change, and this is my like approximation, right? So I would say, like I said, it's faster than Age of Empires 4 fights, but a lot slower than StarCraft 2, which I think is good. One of the major things that people disliked, including me in StarCraft, is the fact that if you don't pay attention for 2 seconds, you literally lose the game. Your whole army gets evaporated. And I think that kind of playstyle is terrible for casual players. I think it's great excitement for the viewers, but I don't think it's satisfying gameplay. So I am glad that they're kind of extending the fight longevity a little bit. And I'm talking about fights, like I'm talking about units dealing damage and taking damage, not in terms of like average game time, because average game time, I don't know what's gonna be, and I don't think they even discussed that. So I'm just talking about fights and how long they take. So if there were to be a unit like Baneling, for example, it wouldn't like run through units and kill everything. It would probably damage units, right? So that's kind of how you should look at it. Next thing, uniqueness of races. Now, I can't say how many races there are going to be. First of all, they didn't even tell us. But I can't discuss like specific of races or anything like that. But I can tell you that they will be very different from one another. So this is not going to be like good Terran and bad Terran kind of game. The races are completely different. Think of like StarCraft 2 races, where you have Terrans or Protoss that are vastly different from one another, including different mechanics, including different macro mechanics, different units, different engagements. You should be looking at something like that, and not something like a different commander and you basically have the same units, just different abilities. So, which I'm very happy about, because I love, and that's one of the things that I love about AoE 4, is that the civilizations are very different from one another and they're easily recognizable. Because in AoE 2, for example, a lot of the civilizations are borderline the same. In AoE 4, the civs may work with same units, right? But the way you play the civilizations are very, very different. So, yeah. Next thing that I wanted to discuss before we jump into the screenshots is I've seen, so I've been reading Stormgate comments, in Stormgate subreddit. I'm reading comments about Stormgate on StarCraft subreddit, other subreddits, and a lot of people keep saying and expecting kind of this is StarCraft 3. Now, after seeing the gameplay and after talking to devs for a while of, from Frost Giant Studios and talking about Stormgate and now hearing about them talk about the game and the plans, this is not StarCraft 3. If you are expecting StarCraft 3, that's not happening. And that's something that people really gotta understand, because some of the comments that I've seen will leave themselves disappointed because they're expecting like reskins of StarCraft units and same gameplay. That's not gonna happen. Like Stormgate will be, in my opinion, from what I've seen, a unique RTS, as in it doesn't, like, I didn't look at it and be like, oh yeah, I've played this already, it's called whatever other game. It's a unique game. It will have, like I said, StarCraft 2 things in it. It will have Brood War things in it. It will have AoE things in it, Command and Conquer, Warcraft 3. But it's kind of like a mix of all those things. So Stormgate is going to be a little bit of everything. So I think people should, maybe be more open to the possibility that, this will not be StarCraft 3. This will not be the continuation of StarCraft 2. It's a new game, and people should, give it a chance and try it out. Based on everything that I've seen, like the general impressions of the videos that they've shown us, I like where the game is going. Obviously, this is pre-alpha, so I've seen some of the content creators that made videos already on Stormgate said that the unit movement seemed weird. Obviously, a lot of the things are not done and they're not perfect. Again, I want to re-emphasize, pre-alpha is like, the game is not close to being done, right? They're not finished with the game. So considering this is pre-alpha, I think a lot of the stuff is looking good. There are things to improve, obviously, and that's why there's closed alphas, that's why there's closed betas, that's why there's betas. All these things are for the purpose of, testing. Like, balance is probably the last thing. Like, you want to test unit responsiveness, you want to test, make sure the art is good, make sure the unit readability is good, so you can see what's what, who's who. So that's what the closed alphas and betas are for. And like I said, when I play in July, I'll try my best to give them the feedback that they need and try to help them out in any way that I can, right? I'm not gonna judge the game like too much in terms of like, oh, this could be better, or like, oh, that unit turned around too weird and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, it's pre-alpha, right? So it shouldn't be taken as a definitive edition, but I am excited to play it and I'm excited to try it out and see what comes out of it. Now, let's go through the screenshots. So this is, you can see in the top right, top left, it's called Vulcan. And you can even see in all the screenshots, it says pre-alpha development assets, not final. So yeah, okay, I see questions in the chat. Will it be free to play? Yes, Stormgate will be free to play. So like, if there's people who are like, I don't like that, I don't like the graphics, or I don't like this, it's literally free to play, guys. Just try it out. If you don't like it, don't play it, right? But there's no reason not to try it because you're a stubborn boomer, So anyway, let's go. So these are some of the, I'm assuming this is gonna be heroes. Like, I think these are like hero pictures. Maybe there might be just units in game, but this is kind of the art that they're going for. This is it's a rooster, chicken. We got some more characters. Now, I don't know if this is a mission, because you can see the unit right here. I don't know if this is like campaign mission where you're going through with one unit. I have no clue what's going on. You have this big fucking creature. This might be part of the infernal race that they talked about. This might be some fucking god. This might be some unit. I don't know, right? This might be some other race that they will be introducing down the line. I have no idea, but these are some of the screenshots. I'm assuming this is a single player mission. I don't know. Then you have, I mean, this is the same thing, right? Except there's a lot of blood. And, well, if you see blood on the picture, you can see, you can imagine how the gameplay is going to be. So yeah, I'm assuming this is maybe some kind of mission where it's like, I don't know, you start out like this and then something happens and there's fucking blood everywhere and stuff like that. It's ketchup? Okay, I didn't know. Yeah, there's a french fry right there, I see it. Then we got some building assets, you got some units. You can kind of see comparatively how big the unit is and what they look like comparatively to the buildings. This is the first unit that we've seen. What is it called? I forgot already. I'm not very good with names, but that's it. So you can kind of see the size compared to its building. There's two right there. I think the colors, what I love about this, the colors on the units, this is very easily distinguishable if you pick other colors. So I'm assuming they're going to have all the colors, right? They're going to have like red, blue, white, like black, whatever, purple, pink, green. And if there are colors, the buildings are going to be easily distinguishable between one another. Now, in StarCraft 2, if you've played StarCraft 2, it is terrible to look at Zerglings fighting one another if they're similar colors. It is terrible. You literally cannot see them at all. You cannot tell the difference because the Zerglings don't have enough colors popping on them to see the difference. If you played StarCraft, you know what I mean. And this happens with a few units in StarCraft. And StarCraft, I would say, is a pretty clear game. So imagine if this, let's call it Marine, is green or yellow. You're not going to be like, oh, is this mine or is this his? It's very easily distinguishable. So I think that's very good. So we got some buildings, which, you know, you can just see what the look is. I don't know what the buildings are going to be. We can speculate, obviously, but, you know, it is what it is. I don't know if this is some kind of unit. I don't know. It has energy, so it might be a caster. I generally don't know, by the way. I'm not even pretending I don't know. I might have seen it in the gameplay, but I don't remember. So it seems to have some kind of energy. Maybe it's a harvester. I don't know. There we see more what the art is going to look like. And again, it has popping colors, which is going to be easily distinguishable between different colors, different players, which I think is very good. We got some kind of factory. Maybe it's gonna make cakes or something. Maybe ammo, like you see here, but maybe it's gonna be cakes. Who knows? And then we have this guy. Now, without revealing what this is, because I know some more details, you know, obviously this is going to be a unit, right? This is not a harvester. Harvesters don't carry a massive sword with them. And this is one of the things that kind of goes against what usual RTS games do when they have, let's call it a Terran faction or a human faction. If you guys noticed, and if you think about it for a second, you'll notice it very quickly, 99.9% of RTS games that have Terran faction or human faction do not have melee units for some reason. They just don't. They're all with rifles. So they got a melee unit that has a sword. I know already what abilities it has or how the unit works. And again, it's pretty unique. From the units that I've seen that they've showed us and that, you know, the abilities that they have, it seems that every unit will have its role, as in this unit is good for, I don't know, like breaking defenses. This unit is good for tanking. This unit is good long range. This unit is good at breaking long range. Stuff like that. So there will be not necessarily rock, paper, scissors. It's not about like this unit counters this unit counters this. It's more like I need to do this, so I'm going to build that. From what I've gathered from the units that we have seen. I mean, this unit looks pretty self-explanatory, right? It looks like a transport ship, like a medevac of some sorts. So there are flying units. So that's obviously the Terran faction. Did they actually say publicly what they're going to be called? Like the Terran faction, so I don't keep calling it Terran faction? Because I know what they're called, I just don't know if it's... They did? No. Okay, they did Resistance, okay. No, Cascade, I know what they are. I just don't know if they said it publicly. So yeah, the human faction, the Terran faction, whatever you want to call it, it's going to be called basically Human Resistance or Resistance. Then we got another building right here. Again, this looks like some kind of, I don't know, maybe it's a factory, maybe it's like a repair shop. It's got a little thing here. I don't think it's for humans. Maybe it's an upgrade building. I have no clue. Maybe it's a TC, Town Center. I don't know. Missile silo? I mean, why would you have the repair thing here? I don't know. Either way, I just wanted to show you guys the art and what they're dealing with. And now we got the UI. Now, they've shown us different biomes as well, by the way. Which I think is pretty cool. So it's not going to be like only this green biome. And this is one of the biomes that they're showing. Now, the biome, again, I'm not too focused on the graphics, because the graphics are one of the last things to get tuned and to get sorted out. I want to focus on the UI. And you can see, I'm assuming this is going to be a mini-map. I hope, I don't know if they do have it or not, but I hope that the UI is customizable. Because, well, as someone who's been playing Age of Empires 4 for a very long time, I really hope that I can put my minimap on the right and my resources on the left. I really hope that, because I am not used to having minimap on the left anymore. Now, we do see a couple of things here, and that is, we see, I'm assuming this is an in-game timer. So this might be a town center, actually, or the main base. So I'm assuming this is in-game timer. This is, I'm assuming, again, the resources. And this is the supply. That's kind of pretty obvious, right? I'm trying to just read off of this so I don't spoil anything, right? So there's two resources. There's the blue poker coins, poker chips, and then there's the pink purple poker chips. How you get to your poker chips, you're gonna have to wait and see. And how you get your bread, are we gonna say I'm out of bread? Gotta make that dough if you get supply blocked. There's gonna be a lot of those. Yeah, I gotta bake it, that's right. So then here we see, I don't know what this icon is exactly, this one right here. This one seems like a military tab. This one seems like a building tab, and this one seems like a research tab. Whistle. I mean, yeah, it looks like a whistle, but maybe it's a command grid. I don't know. I don't know what it's supposed to represent. So, the way it's looking is you might be able to access all the buildings through your hotkeys. So the way that this is looking, because nothing is selected. So let's dissect this. Nothing is selected. And you have the options for army, construction, and research. Because this is always a research. In every game, this is research. So what I think this is that you don't need to select anything. You can go X and then press farm and build it, right? Or you can press C and then research something. Which, if that's the case, and then if you press Z, you can build any units. Which, by the way, I generally don't know if this is the case, if this is how it works, that they haven't shown us that or talked about that. This is what I'm reading off of this. If that is the case, this will massively help the new players. This is something that I've talked about in my previous videos. I've talked about this a lot. Most players in RTS that try don't want to play it because it's too hard. You know, I want to make a farm here, or I want to make a building. So if I want to make a building, I got to select worker, then I got to send the worker, then I got to press the farm, and then I got to build it, and then I got to send back the worker. If this works, I'm suspecting it's going to work, where you don't need to select anything. You just press X and then press house, and you build it. Either, I don't know, maybe some races will not require workers to build, Maybe some races will have the worker go, the nearest worker go and build that, right? In which case, this minimizes the amount of effort and work that a new player needs to do in order to play the game, which I think is great. Like Command and Conquer. And this is one of the things that I wasn't mentioning it for this, but this is something that I brought up earlier, where a lot of the stuff was inspired from other games, the good stuff. And I think, yeah, Command and Conquer doesn't use workers. You just put it from the tab, you just build it and press it on. But this is the thing. If this is the case, right? Let's say that I have worker here and I press X and I want to build a building here when I have the resources. Now you might say, but that's too easy, that there's no difference between a noob and a good player. But a noob will then have to wait for the worker to go all the way from here to start building if you use this command grid. But a good player would move the worker and then still use the command grid and build. But the point is, this is the best way to go about RTS games. It makes it easier for newer players to play while still maintaining the high skill level if you want to min-max all the possible things and play as efficiently as you can. So if this is how it works, I personally would love that. Not necessarily for myself, but for newer players, because a lot of people struggle with this. Like for me, it takes like half a second for me to select a worker and queue up 5 buildings, right? But a lot of the newer players, you guys don't understand. I'm not talking about Gold League. I'm talking even like worse than Gold League players. People struggle quite a bit to do stuff because it's very APM intensive. So if that's the approach they're going for, thumbs up. Because it doesn't affect me and it helps other players. So why wouldn't I want that in the game? Yeah, exactly. You can optimize for pros and it's good for the casuals. So I'm pretty sure these 4 screenshots, I don't know why they're split like that. Are they different in any way, or am I blind, or what's going on? Oh, we see the water. Okay, I mean, I don't think it's water, whatever it is. Waste. Yeah, this is yellow. This is one type of green. This says like more green. This is more, I don't know. But I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Oh, I guess the biome is also different. This is more red. So now, again, they're just showing off different biomes. Oh, you can see here there's purple stuff. This is more dead trees with like dark stuff in the background. This is just kind of desert-ish, whatever. I'm assuming they just wanted to show off different biomes, and maybe even biomes will have different colors or different assets. I don't know. But I think that's good. It makes the game prettier. Will it be so blurry? That I don't know. Again, I know about this as much as you do right now. So again, I want to re-emphasize something. This is pre-alpha. Okay? These are in development. Yeah. And I'm going to show you guys after this. I want to show you pre-alpha StarCraft. Alright? Just so you can get a little look. So there's another screenshot. You can see there's like skulls. So they're going to be adding, because of this thing right here, you can see that they are going to be adding a lot of maybe doodads, as I like to call them, that you can put on maps to make the maps look cooler and to, you know, look nice. Or again, this might be a unit from another race. This might be a unit from extinct race. I don't know, right? But you can see how the buildings will kind of fit into the environment. And obviously, this is not in-game screenshot, by the way. I think it's just concept art. So yeah, just so you guys know. And then we got one of the last characters. Again, what kind of art style they are going for. Now I want to show you something, which is StarCraft pre-alpha. All right, are you guys ready? So this is not pre-alpha. This is StarCraft 2 alpha. Yeah, this is what StarCraft 2 looked in alpha. This is from official Blizzard showing. I think this is at BlizzCon. if I'm not mistaken.
Then the particle systems, which would allow us to show actual blood coming out of nades and all that kind of stuff. So that was our first version of that. And then this was a couple months later. So this is when we actually started putting in new units. And
see that? That's what I mean. So when people, like, look at Protoss, look how the units are moving. Now, I'm not saying that Stormgate, because I generally don't know. I'm not saying, this is Zerg, by the way, Zerg Creeper. I'm not saying that Stormgate is at this level and it's going to improve like 4 times to what it is right now. I'm just saying that this is usually what alpha games look like, right? And this is obviously added later, but you can see the unit movements are fucking weird and they're slow, and the unit groupings are different. The unit speeds are different. So my whole point wasn't to like, shit on StarCraft. It's to just show you guys that Stormgate is in pre-alpha, and that's what it looks like. Like, those are the graphics that I showed you earlier, right? This. So now compare that to what I just showed you. So even if there are some issues with like unit movements, or maybe stuff is not moving as smooth, or maybe the graphics are a bit off, or the shadows are a bit off, they're not final. That's what I want to re-emphasize over and over, because I feel like a lot of people are missing out on those things. Now, there's going to be a PC gaming show on 11th of June where they will be revealing some stuff. That's all I can say. And I'm not sure if we were able to like apply to co-stream, but I don't know if I need to get a response or something. I applied for it, so if I get the approval in time, I'm probably going to co-stream, which I'm assuming is just me watching the stream and kind of having a watch party with you guys and giving you guys my opinion live. I'm assuming I would get it. I don't see a reason why I wouldn't, but we'll have to wait. So on the 11th of June, they're going to reveal some stuff, and if I can, I'll stream it. I'll react with you guys, about it, and see the stuff that they're going to be showing. They actually told us what they're going to be showing, but I am a goldfish, and I already forgot. So I'm going to be like surprised again. I guess that's the good part about being a goldfish. You experience good things twice. And yeah, last thing, so I wouldn't make this an hour video like all my videos. Last thing I want to say to you guys is make sure to go on Steam if you're interested in Stormgate. If you want to try it, go on Steam, log in your account, and just wishlist the game. You're not buying the game, you're not doing anything, you're just saying, I'm interested in that game. That helps them a lot with promotion, with, I'm assuming, sponsors, with investments, with whatever, just getting the game out there for people to get excited for. So feel free to do that. Again, Stormgate will be free to play, so what more do you want? And like I said, I'll be playing Stormgate in July. Sadly, I won't be able to talk about it. I'm sure I'll be able to give my general impressions. Like, I'll be able to say, like, yeah, I played it last week, or I played it yesterday, it was amazing, or it was this, or whatever. But I don't think I'll be able to record or give any kind of footage or whatever else. Is there a chance you will switch to Stormgate? So again, guys, I've been always honest about this. I don't know. I genuinely don't know if I like the game. If the gameplay is good, I will play it. I will play whatever I like more. If I don't like the game, I will not play it. If I like AoE 4 at that point and there's more content for AoE 4, then I'll play AoE 4. I don't know. It also depends when it gets released exactly, what's happening with AoE 4, if I'm alive even at that point. It matters on a lot of things. So I'm not going to say I'm not going to play it, or I'm going to play it 100%. I don't know. I have to wait and see. So that's it. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Again, check out Stormgate. You can apply for beta at playstormgate.com. Wishlist it on Steam. Check me out on Twitch. I'm probably live right now. And that's it. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. Join me on June 11th, live on Twitch. And I hope you guys have a great day. If you're watching this on Twitch, let's keep going.